Tribute for a much-loved brother-in-law. This tribute is sent by my mother Gladys Coleman, wife of the late Alvin Dudley Coleman, residing in Rock River. Owen Coleman, or Salva, as he was known by many, and Uncle Salva to his niece and nephews, was such a delightful man. From an early age, I knew Salva to exhibit a quiet, calm personality and softly spoken. However, when he spoke, his words were of quality and substance. He was a loving, kind, thoughtful, and an ambitious young man, always willing to assist myself and Alvin, his eldest brother, who is now deceased. They had a special bond. And although they were thousands of miles apart, when Daddy, Alvin, and I lived in England, they remained close, and when face to face, it was as if they had never parted. When Daddy and I lived in the UK and visit Jamaica, my brother-in-law would be always waiting for us at the airport to take us to our destination in Clarendon. During our stay in Jamaica, Salva would visit us regularly from Spanish Town to Rock River, sometimes every alternate day. We had been truly blessed by having Salva in our lives. Immediately upon us returning to live in Jamaica permanently, Salva went above and beyond to assist us to resettle in our homeland. Salva's actions, his many deeds of kindness, spoke volumes and was exemplary of what Christ expects of us towards mankind. Thanks be to God, he loaned Salva to us for a while and has now called him to his rest. Owen, Salva, rest in peace. See you in the world made new. Your sister-in-law Gladys Coleman and family.
Let me give diligence to the wife of Brother Coleman, Sister Coleman. Due diligence to you, ma'am, and for this season of your life, I salute you dearly, along with all of the offsprings of the Coleman lineage. We judge people based on how we feel about them or how we feel about circumstances, happenstances that we have shared with them. I want to take this privilege to salute this season of the life of the Coleman family. Based on the salvific theme, where Christ died for us, I would like to salute Brother Coleman in his retirement from life, that even from my youth up, and now in reflection of that youthful season I spent around him, I thank God. Brother Coleman, of course, was not just in the journey of my upbringing, but he was a milestone, a stone where I could stand and look forward to life based on the instructions, based on the encouragement he would give. And now at that milestone, I can look back and say, thank God I knew him. We judge people based on how we perceive them, how we have had experiences with them. We judge people because of circumstances and happenstances. And the truth is, we shouldn't judge people, because there's something wrong with all of us. Yes. We don't save ourselves. It is God that saves us. We are not adopted based on anything we have done in the adoption of saints that we might be attached to the Christ. We do not sanctify ourselves. It is God that sanctifies us. It is God that adopts us, and it is God that saves us. We do not secure ourselves. It is God who secures us. And so in the salvific theme, where Christ is the one sent to redeem us, to adopt us, to sanctify us, to cleanse us, to atone for us, and to make propitiation for us, these are people in our lives, in our youthful days, who had helped to govern our thinking, helped to guide our way. And now that we have another stalwart that has passed on, we are slowly taking the place of those who raised us. I want to lift my hat to Brother Coleman. And I want to, in the presence of his family, relatives, his grandkids, say thank you, sir, for having made an impact on my life. Thank you so very much for your contribution to the person that I am. God bless his rest, and God bless those who are connected to him by some way. We'll meet again in the sweet by and by. This is George Jackson, Henry, as affectionately called by our dearly beloved Brother Coleman. My regards, my well wishes, my condolences, and may God help us all not to judge one another, but to let God be the judge of all. We'll see him again in the great by and by. Why? Because it is God that saved him, not us. Bless you.
On behalf of my wife, Carmen, my children, Jodine and Noel Jr., and also the entire Rhema Life Center family, I'd like to use this opportunity to extend my regards to the Coleman family, Sister Vincy, Bruce, Colleen, Ruth, and Mark, and the grandchildren. Please note that you're in our prayers and you're in our thoughts on the passing of the patriarch of the Coleman family, Elder Owen Coleman. I've known Brother Coleman for most of my impressionable years. As a young adult, I met him at Christ Temple, where we all served as members and ministers in various capacities. And he has always been that man of integrity. Brother Coleman was the person who would speak his truth to power, irrespective of who that power is or what that power is. He has strong convictions, and when he embraces his convictions, he would not vacillate. I appreciate that about him. He was a man of great faith, a worshiper. He was always in the spirit, literally. This man was not just focused on spirituality, but he led a balanced life. He took care of his family. He had a beautiful home. I visited the home on many occasions, and I can recall that I've been there. Sister Coleman and I would sit around that old grand piano. I would be playing and she would be singing. We would be making all kinds of noises. And that never disrupted nor distracted Brother Coleman. He was a very neat gentleman. You could not dress like him. So properly put together. Talk about cars. Now, you know why Mark is a lover of cars, because Brother Coleman, he took special pride in his cars, and he would keep them clean and neat. I loved him. We would have our own conversations, you know. Sister Coleman and I would get together and We would just be talking, and then when Brother Coleman would come on the scene, we would have a very, very focused spiritual conversations. I loved him so much. He was an example to me. He was also an astute businessman. He was a salesman extraordinaire. And he didn't just interact with people within the faith community, but he had friends and associates out in the secular world. Brother Coleman, you've been an outstanding Christian. You've been an example for me. We hope that by God's grace that our lives will exemplify at least a fraction of what you represented. God bless you. Take care.
Good morning to you, my dear family, relatives and friends. I'm Delores Fyfield, nee Coleman, niece of the late Owen Coleman. Although we are in these strange times of separation from each other, our Lord has made provisions through social media and this platform where we can meet virtually to celebrate the well-lived life of my dear Uncle Salva. As a young girl, I never saw Uncle Salva often, but heard so much of him that I felt as though I knew him then. I met Uncle in my early teens, and my expectations of him was precise. He was smartly dressed, friendly, loving, calm, and I found him to be quite cute. My family spoke highly of him as an intelligent, ambitious young man who was well loved by all that knew him. I can remember being extremely proud of him when I discovered he went away from the family home to study. That idea of leaving home to go and study resonated and struck a chord in me. Uncle was never to know that the career path he chose had triggered and inspired me, his niece. And so in my early years, I made that decision to study when I grew up. I heard many conversations by my grandparents Martha and Oswald, who would debate Salva's lack of interest in working on the land, as his brothers and other young men did at that time. But Uncle Salva had a plan. He was focused and determined to gain an academic education, and that he did achieve. Uncle was not a traveler. However, in October 2004, he came to the UK to visit his eldest sister Birdie, who was ill at that time and is now deceased. Uncle and I seized the opportunity then to spend some time together, and he came to Birmingham, and what a well spent day we had. It was filled with memories. We did sightseeing, visited the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, we visited the Birmingham Library, we shopped in the major stores, and we dined out. At the end of that amazing day, we spent the evening reflecting on our day and catching up on missed years. I next saw Uncle Salva again in February 2016 at the going home celebration of my dad, Dudley Alvin Coleman, and again in 2017 when my sister Maisie and I visited him whilst he was hospitalized. Although Uncle Salva was suffering ill health, he was able to encourage us to keep the faith and wished us a safe flight home. All these memories I hold dear of my Uncle Salva. And just that one day in October 2004 always puts a smile on my face and brings joy to my heart. Of all the many blessings, ever great or small, to have you for an uncle was the greatest one of all. The family chain is broken, and nothing will remain the same. But as God calls us one by one, the chain will link again. Good night, Uncle. Rest in eternal peace. Delores Coleman Fyfield, your niece.